VivziePop just released another Helluva boss short over on her channel, this time focusing on Blitz on a solo mission to assassinate a weeb. But there was some fun lore and potential continuation of this story, including charms that can protect against demons easily, with the symbol being just a pentagram, which has huge implications for the show, especially when you consider that the main characters over in Hazbin Hotel live in Pentagram City. My name is Deepcut, demons call me ImpCut, and let's jump into it. Now, for those who don't know, VivziePop has been releasing a new short every month for a while now this year, with plans to continue until the release of Ghost Effers. Yes, I'm still saying Ghost Effers. With this short coming out in August, I think that means that there's one more short coming in September, but I also heard there were only a few coming out, so it's hard to say if we'll get that, or if we'll just be going right into an early October release for the new episode. So far, the shorts have been excuses to return to the premise of the show, which was supposed to be missions on Earth to kill random humans that sinners have called out a hit on. The show itself took a turn to focus more on Hell's internal lore, however, and while we do still see missions to Earth in the actual show, they tend to be pretty epic or involve some sort of interaction with other demons that elaborates more on Hell's lore than the Earth's. For example, episodes meeting angels up on Earth, or the agents of dorks who want to invade Hell. I like to imagine that a lot of these ideas explored in the shorts were originally meant to be more fillery fun episodes that just didn't fit into the bigger story that Helluva Boss became, but some of them still seem to pack some important lore. In today's short, Blitz ended up attacking a random weeb who is home from college. She isn't just a weeb, but is noted by her parents to love hentai, and her room is decorated with fantasy material about demons seducing humans. Blitz has no problem trying to kill her on his own, but in the end, she turns out to have a magical charm protecting her, and ultimately wants to be seduced by Blitz, seeing him as a sexy demon who comes to take her away like in her Chinese cartoons. It's because of these anime, whatever that is, that this weeb has a magical pentagram in the form of some merch that she bought, and this is kind of a big deal in my opinion. When Blitz tries to attack this girl, his knife is blocked by a holy-looking barrier, which comes from what looks like a simple pentagram on her necklace from the anime she likes. It's important that this pentagram protects her, but the upside-down pentagram on the doll behind her is not affected, and instead, he's the one that ends up getting stabbed. Now, he isn't alive, so maybe the pentagram wouldn't work on him either way, or perhaps it also needs wings or certain materials used in the necklace. We don't actually know, but it makes sense that a simple symbol like this could actually protect humans, and that if used upside down, may actually be more demonic and not help anyone. In real life, we have circles that are meant to summon and contain demons, as well as magical circles that are meant to protect against dark and demonic forces as a whole. Within the show, those summoning symbols work, allowing Stolas to essentially summon himself back in Season 1, Episode 6, by using his powers to control humans from Hell to draw the circle. What's interesting here is that the pentagram is a symbol for Hell often in the show. In Hazbin Hotel, the characters live in Pentagram City, named such because of the giant pentagram that floats above it. Additionally, there's the giant pentagram orb in the sky, which is something of a planet or moon or sun in their sky, much further beyond where we could see the pentagram floating over Pentagram City. It makes sense to see so many pentagrams in Hell, as it's often associated with Lucifer or the devil, and there's quite a few reasons for this. The distinction between the upright pentagram and the upside-down pentagram was first introduced by the occultist Eliphas Levi in the 19th century. In his writings, he claimed that the upright pentagram represents positive energy and connection to God, the upside-down pentagram having negative energy and connections to the devil, particularly the goat head. Because of this, it's possible that Emberlyn was protected because her pentagram was upright, and the stuffed demon behind her was not because it's upside down. Following this distinction by Eliphas Levi, the pentagram would become linked with the devil through the Church of Satan. However, the pentagram itself was already loosely connected to the fallen angel of Lucifer. Lucifer was a Christian invention of sorts, his name being used in the translation of a passage in the book of Isaiah, talking about a Babylonian king who had fallen from grace. He is likened to Hillel ben Shahar, which was a term used to describe Venus as the morning star in the ancient Near East. The Latin name for Venus as the morning star was Lucifer, and with that name linked to the passage describing Venus as a fallen figure who tried to outshine the sun, it became a term used to describe the leader of the fallen angels, known variously as Samael and Shemyaza in the Jewish tradition. Venus is interesting because over the course of 8 years, it makes something of a pentagram shape in our sky, with the pentagram being linked as a symbol for Venus by Pythagoras as far back as ancient Greece. In the Christian tradition, the pentagram was adopted to represent Christ with his 5 wounds coming from the nails in his hands and feet, as well as his wound from the spear. In Revelation 22:16, Jesus explicitly refers to himself as the Morning Star, a title that wasn't uncommon when a royal or elite of sorts was trying to emphasize their grandness or importance, but one that had interesting implications of Jesus being aligned with Venus. Venus itself was often treated as the firstborn son of God, the favorite child of God, because of the association of the sun with the greatest of all gods in the sky. Venus is closer to the sun than the Earth, but not as close as Mercury, meaning we actually get to see Venus more than Mercury as it's often obscured by the sun. Venus was seen as the morning star because it rose before the sun for 9 months at a time, signaling that the sun was about to rise as well. Jesus, as the Son of God, his favorite angel, makes sense as Venus, but the ultimate connection of Lucifer with the devil figure creates an interesting duality of a good and bad aspect of Venus. The pentagrams in the show are often seen as pointed upward, such as the pentagram in the sky, though the one floating directly over Pentagram City is a lot harder to say, as it depends more on where you're standing. Is it possible that these pentagrams in the Pride Ring are used for control over the demons in some way? Hell is something of a prison, and it's been said in early live streams that the angels like Lucifer could wipe out the demon population easily if they really wanted to, and the same would go for the angels above Lucifer. Adam can apparently wipe out a giant ship with sinners in it with his own holy power, but if they needed to take down an entire city or even all of hell, is it possible that they would use the pentagram such as those in the sky or the shape of the city itself? Pentagram City is the capital of hell and a place where the most dangerous of hell's elites had come together. I think it's possible that the angels put their own building at the center of it to start designing something of a large pentagram that could be used to trap the demons of Pentagram City. It's easy to imagine another attack from the angels where the sinners want to flee Pentagram City, only for them to end up trapped in it by the same glowing gold portal that protects Emberlyn in this new short. We know that Sarah fears an uprising in hell, and I could also imagine that if hell itself began to work towards attacking heaven, she might want to unleash a giant holy attack stronger than she or the angels alone could produce. This giant pentagram in the sky over the Pride Ring may not just act as some sort of barrier or shield to prevent demons from making it up to heaven, but it could also perhaps be used for an outright holy attack so big that it destroys the majority of hell in a merciless way, destroying every demon in its path, whether native or earthborn. It seems that the pentagrams have some sort of planned use in the story of Hazbin Hotel, especially when we keep in mind the pentagram that exists just over Pentagram City in particular. And I can see this little short being a quick introduction to the potential magic that they have, that can have bigger and more terrifying consequences for our characters over in Hazbin Hotel. As if to confirm that this will affect Hazbin Hotel, there's one shot in the short where we see a demon stuffed plush that looks obviously like Charlie in Emberlyn's room. Charlie herself is the daughter of Lucifer Morningstar, and the two have direct connections to Venus, and thus this symbol in particular. It raises so many questions about how these things will all intersect in Hazbin Hotel, which I have to imagine will be rather epic near the end of the show's run. But what do you guys think? Theories are bouncing around in my head for this one, and I hope I'm not just overreading a simple short, but I have to imagine they wouldn't use the pentagram itself if it wasn't going to relate to how pentagrams really work in the rest of the show. As for Emberlyn herself, I'd definitely love for her to make an appearance in the actual show, or to return in shorts just stalking Blitz. I think she's a really fun character, and I love how she proves that Blitz just absolutely chases everyone who doesn't want him, and then when someone wants him, he does his best to act like he doesn't like it. But perhaps like with Stolas, he can come to love Emberlyn as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys soon with some fun new videos.